Okay guys, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've just spent 30 hours behind this thing here and this was really difficult. But hey, in times of more artificial intelligence and fake things, there's always room for more realness, right? So it isn't perfect, it's rough around the edges, but it captures the emotion of the melody and I think that's the most important thing. Hello everybody, I'm Roman and you're about to watch episode 7 of Roman's Random Riffs. Roman's Random Riffs. Thanks for tuning in, I hope you're doing well. I'm feeling excited because we will go on yet another musical adventure together and we will create a song with random magic. Random magic, you might ask. What's random about it? What's magical about it? Well, I'll tell you. The random part is 3 custom-made musical dice. There is one die for 12 keys. There's one die for 6 time signatures. And there's a die for the 7 modes. So you can probably guess what I will be doing. I will be throwing these dice and there will be a combination I have to write a song with. So that's the random part, and the magical part about it is that it becomes super easy to create cool music when you understand these concepts. And by limiting yourself by throwing a combination, you create a fishbowl from where within you have to be creative. And it often leads to the best results because you're not overwhelmed by all the endless possibilities there are. But don't worry, I will be doing the heavy lifting today and you can just sit back, relax, grab some popcorn and take notes, because hopefully this will be also inspiring along the way for you. Having said all of this, let's dive right into it. Let's shake these puppies over here and give them a spin. Today's key is C, today's mode is the Aeolian mode, and the time signature is 7/8. One thing's for sure, this will be a quirky alternative thing again because of the 7/8 time signature, which is cool. So I look forward to creating a cool rhythmical pattern with that. And then in C minor, because Aeolian is the expensive name for minor. As you might be aware of, the minor mode, or the Aeolian mode, is one of the most commonly used modes ever, in combination with major, of course, but those are relative to each other, major and minor, or Aeolian and Ionian. Let's start by discovering which rooms our house of C minor has. And there's a really easy trick for that. I made a whole video especially about that, but for now I will show it quickly. We're in C minor, so the C note is located there on the A string on the 3rd fret, which is the root. And then below, or which are the same notes, we have the other 2 minor chords in the scale. So in this case C minor for our home chord, F minor, and then to a G minor. So those are the minor chords, using this trick. And then we go to the major side of things, with the same trick. And there we have E flat, G major, and then to B flat major. And now we miss just the diminished chord, and the diminished chord is always on the 2nd degree. When you look at it from the major perspective, or it's on the 7th degree when you look at it from its major relative. So we could say C minor and E flat major are 2 names for the same rooms in the same house. So when we would harmonize the scale of C minor, we get these beautiful chords. So that's our chord palette to choose from. And then on to the 7/8 time signature. If you have been following this channel, you might know this already because I talked about it earlier when I threw 7/8 in another episode. It's very nice to divide a 7/8 up in 2 groups of 3 and 4 or 4 and 3. Because it makes it easier to count, especially when the BPM is a little bit higher. It's easier to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. I don't know, I don't like it. So I like to divide it up. Plus it helps to come up with rhythmical patterns easier. So now that we know all of this, let's try to write something with it. Starting on the home chord and finding a rhythmical pattern in 7/8. Let's say a pattern of 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe something easy like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, I actually like that already. And now maybe move to the 2 chord with the same shape. That could be interesting because now we have this open G string here. And if I just move the other 2 notes up, we kind of have the beginning of a D minor. So we have a root, a minor, and then the 4 out of this chord actually. I must admit I don't know how this chord is called. Maybe you know it, let me know. We're just moving the shape up and letting the open G string ring there. And maybe we can just change the bass note here to our B flat, our 7 chord. Maybe we can go to G. That's nice. That could be an option, or yeah, that's a lot of tension, but it works. When we go back to, I think there's something in that with this open string. Oh yeah, we can also go to F. So let me play 1 round of that. Maybe every chord 4 times. B flat. To G. To G sharp or A flat. And then maybe quickly to F. And then back to C. But maybe we can develop the story a little bit here by removing the open note we had ringing through the whole time. Now we can maybe look for more 7 chords. I made a whole video about that as well, so check that out. So a C minor 7 here, but with the same rhythmical pattern. And now, if we go to our 2 chords, it have to be a half diminished chord. Can we go to F maybe also there? Yeah, F minor. That's also a cool transition. What about if I play a little rundown there? But then with the right rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It uses a chromatic descending line back to our diminished chord. Yeah. I think that's a cool, playful little thing there. And then we went to B flat. We can do it over there, but maybe it's cooler to play it up here. Oh, that's dominant 7 chord. The 5 of E flat, our major home chord. And then with the rhythm. Then I went to G. Maybe I can play that also as a dominant chord, which is not really in the house, but because normally it would be a G minor, but this could be kind of the secondary dominant of C minor, the 5 of C of 1. So that's cool. Then you have 2 dominant chords next to each other, which also creates a lot of tension. And then maybe we went to G sharp, and then we have to play a major 7, G sharp, major 7. Yeah, so let's connect those. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, that's nice, I love it. And then maybe quickly back to F before we get back to... I think this is a cool story already, especially with the 2 variations of the same chord progression, which kind of results into this long, meandering sentence. So let me play these 2 parts 1 time after each other so we can get a sense of how the story is developing. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I love this, nice! I think it tells a great story already. Even to a point that I think it might be cool to just leave it an instrumental song and maybe play a melody later on. I have to come up with something then, but on the pedal steel or something like that. It gives me a good reason to study the pedal steel again. Let's put a pin in that, but for now I'm very happy with what we have here. Should we go to a second part or maybe develop this even further? Well, maybe let's try something else first, because otherwise we immediately get into a tunnel vision. Maybe we can write a B part to take a little detour to come back to the other part later. Let's start on a different chord than the home chord then. Could go for the major home, or yeah, I also must say I love this G sharp major 7 a lot here. We can start on that maybe. And then again creating a lift by moving the chord up, in this case to B flat dominant 7. And then maybe to the root, C minor, yeah, that's nice. In a different voicing there on the same strings as I'm playing the rest, so... That would be minor 7, that's also nice. And maybe that could be a cool little riff there in between. That's maybe nice. Both using C minor, but playing a little melody there in between. I could also go to G minor there, G minor 7, because that's actually in the key of C minor instead of the dominant. So we get and maybe if I let these two notes ring out and just... Yeah, that's nice. And now I want to resolve to, because this is a F sus4, which actually have to resolve to F sharp minor, but in this case to F major, which creates a very cool lift there. And we borrow that chord out of C major, which would be an example of borrowing a chord from the parallel major key. So C major, because we have a major F in the key of C. Back to the whole story, I think it resolves in a very beautiful way there. So we get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. B flat 7 to C minor with this little melody in there. G minor 7 and then to F sus4, which resolves to F major. And then maybe can play it just again. Maybe this time around I can go to the F minor and then to F sus2. Yeah, that's nice. Then we get a whole walk down on that string, on that G string, and then we're back to C minor. Our home. Yes, I think that's actually very nice. So now we want to hear this all together, right? Well, at least I do. So there we go. B part. Lovely, lovely. I like this a lot. I think it tells a very sad but beautiful story. And I already hear the pedal steel crying on top of that. Oh my god. But first, I will record this part and play it twice. And I think that will be the right tension arc for the song as well. And then I will get behind the pedal steel and start studying, because it's been a while since I sat behind it and it's a very difficult instrument. But I look forward to get my teeth into that. Then I will be back with you in the next shot. Romance Random Quiz. Okay guys, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've just spent 30 hours behind this thing here, and this was really difficult. How enchantingly beautiful and magical this wonderful instrument, the pedal steel, is. It is as devilishly difficult, so therefore there were times I thought of quitting, but I'm very happy I pushed through and spent some days behind this thing here, because I got better at it, so that's already one of my dreams, to get better at pedal steel. And eventually I came up with a very cool part to accompany the acoustic guitar part. But I also have to admit, it isn't perfect. It's very difficult to play in tune on this thing. But hey, in times of more artificial intelligence and fake things, there's always room for more realness, right? So it isn't perfect, it's rough around the edges, it's slightly out of tune here and there, but it captures the emotion of the melody, and I think that's the most important thing. Now I will move one place to the left here and sit behind the computer and show you how everything sounds together with the pedal steel and acoustic. And after that, we go to the long-awaited performance of the whole thing, so you definitely want to stick around for that. Moving on. The most important thing to address here is the fact that there's no vocals. The whole storytelling and the melody and the whole development of the song has to come from the instruments, obviously. And I did that in several ways. The first story arc, so to say, is being told by the acoustic, like we saw in the writing process, that develops in a very nice way. And then there's the pedal steel, the beautiful pedal steel, playing the melody. And the development there is that it starts off with a single note melody. Which sounds very melancholic and slow, a little bit draggy, a little bit moody. And then the melody develops, just like the acoustic guitar in the second time around, by playing two notes. So we get this sixth interval, which is kind of the elixir of the pedal steel. Very nice. And then as the story continues and the journey continues, we get into the second part of the song, the B part of the song. And there the pedal steel works towards a higher register. The melody gets a little bit faster, more notes. Oh man, I love that specific part in the song, wow. And that's a good thing, because I've been listening to it for I don't know how many hours already. Moving on, because I have a little surprise. In the second part of the song, the pedal steel stops. Unfortunately, because it's so beautiful. But there's another thing replacing it. And I thought I wanted to create a cool contrast in the song. So, what if I see the acoustic guitar kind of as the bass line in terms of speed, that's the middle tier of speed. Then we have the pedal steel that's slightly below it, more draggy, more longer notes. How can I give the song more speed, or the feeling that it has more drive or more forward momentum? So then I thought maybe it's cool to look for somewhat of a synth part, but then with an electric guitar. So I dove into my pedal board down here, I will show you later, and I added some overdrive. I used the wave cannon and the Wampler tumness there, and then a lot of delay with dotted eights, so we get a lot of speed with that, and it almost turns into some sort of I don't know, dance, trance, techno vibe. I really love it. So that comes in the second part of the song. The pedal steel fades out and the electric techno part comes in, fades in. What I decided to do there is also creating another contrast, because the pedal steel was moving around with a lot of different harmonic textures and contexts, a lot of information. So I thought it might be cool the first time around to just stay on the same note with this delay part. By doing that, the chord part gets a different context, or that note gets a different context in relation to the chords. But again, it gives another perspective of the same progression. The second time around, also developing just like the acoustic and the pedal steel before. Now we start moving around with the notes and find cool harmonies, often looking for the thirds or the fifths. And that progresses. Then we get into the B part, or the chorus, so to say. This delay part that turns into some sort of a theme there. I added an extra round to the B part, so that we have this delay part one time, and then the pedal steel comes back in, and then we have 2 more rounds of the same B part. So we have 3 in total. But that gave me space to also build the pedal steel up again, so it took a little bit more time there. And that's also where things get a little bit more wobbly in the tuning of the pedal steel, but hey, in times of AI, it's also cool to throw some raw and slightly imperfect stuff into the world. Long story short, the pedal steel comes back in. And then lastly, I added one more thing, and that's a kick drum, because I thought, yeah, well, if we go into the direction of, what do you call this? Psychedelic country trance. We need a kick drum, like a 4 to the floor, even though it's in 7/8, but on every quarter note. But that adds to the bounciness of the last part of this song. Yeah, and this is about all I got for today. This was quite the journey, especially with the whole pedal steel. But I'm very, very, very proud of the result. I'm very excited what you think about it. I want to thank you very much for sticking around with me, for tuning in again and going on another adventure. And if you feel like this adventure tasted like more, there are some other dice challenges waiting for you. I wish you a great rest of your day, and now let's enjoy the track.